Today we have the Seahawks legend Cliff Avril with us on the show. Hi, Cliff. How are you doing?
I am well. How are you guys doing?
Fine. It's great talking to you. You played for the Seahawks for several years between 2013 and 2017. Can you tell us a little bit about your story with the Seahawks? How was it playing for them, and how did they shape you also as a person?
Oh, no, it was great. Playing with the Seahawks after leaving Detroit for 5 years and playing for the Seahawks for 5 years, it was definitely a big difference, a culture change more so than anything. It taught me the difference between, honestly, a winning mindset and kind of what everybody else is doing. Having Coach Carroll as the guy leading the charge, you learn a lot of things from him on how to lead, how to be a great leader, how to get guys to go out and play for one another, to love to play for one another. I think that was the biggest thing. And it was all genuine. It wasn't forced. He put a bunch of guys that had different characteristic backgrounds, personalities, and all of us got along very well with one another because we respected one another and we understood we needed each other to have success. And I think that's why we had so much success during that time.
So you were part of the team that won the Super Bowl against the Denver Broncos in 2014. That's really cool. So many people will also remember the safety in the opening seconds and the role you played. So yeah, I mean, it's a simple question, but what was it like to win the Super Bowl?
Amazing. At that time, I was the first player, because I went 0-16 as a rookie when I played with the Seahawks, or when I played with the Lions. And then, 6 years later, I'm in the Super Bowl and I have the fastest score in Super Bowl history and different things like that. So being able to win the Super Bowl in that time meant, I feel like it meant a little bit more to me than say some of the other guys, because of my road and my path up until that point was completely different. You'd never thought I'd be in the Super Bowl after how my career started. So, it was an amazing journey. It was a great experience. Didn't realize the impact they had on the city of Seattle until I retired. But overall, though, just being able to be the last team standing in the National Football League, when there's so many great players and so many other individuals that had played for a long time, never got to the Super Bowl, let alone winning the Super Bowl, it was a great experience for sure.
Unfortunately, you didn't have the chance to play the London game in 2018 with the Seahawks. How excited are you now for the Seahawks for this game in Munich? That's basically the first game in Germany ever.
I think it's going to be amazing. So I was in Munich this summer doing some stuff for the Seahawks, doing some content stuff and visiting. And I took a trip to Germany probably like 3 years prior to that with the NFL. And it's always a lot of love. You don't realize how much Germany or just the world, but Germany in particular, loves the NFL and football. But in particular, there's a lot of Seahawks fans in Germany.
Yes.
And I asked why, because I was kind of confused. I was like, man, like of all teams, why did you guys adopt the Seahawks? And what was told to me was because when the NFL became a big deal to them was back in 2014, 2012, 2013, 2014. Well, that's when we were at our peak, right? That's when we were doing our thing and we were doing the. So it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. And I love it out there, man. They have so much love for the Seahawks. They have so much love for football. It's going to be a great venue, a great space for them to have a game out there.
Yeah, particularly about that, like how impressed were you with the stadium and like the whole setup here? Do you think that's gonna work? Because for us, like German stadiums and stuff, it's a little different, So like we were still like thinking about, okay, is this actually working? What do you think about that?
I definitely think it'll work. I mean, I think the venue is amazing. I think the stadium is amazing. The seating, I mean, to be able to fill it up, I think what is 70,000+ people. I know I heard the tickets sold very fast. I think the venue is going to be amazing, though. I think it's going to be loud. It's going to feel like a home game for the Seahawks. I really do believe that. I feel like it's going to be loud. It's going to be a lot of energy, electrifying. And it's going to be a great first outing in Germany for the NFL.
For sure. So another question that I have, which I find really interesting, is that the NFL is growing internationally a lot, right? So there are more chances for international players. Could be a big chance for the NFL as well. So when you look in the NBA, maybe the MLB, but especially the NBA, there are lots of actually stars from Europe and all over the place. What are your expectations here? Do you think if we look down the road, maybe like 5 to 10 years, the NFL could look similar like that?
I think so. I think the potential is very much there because I was fortunate enough to be able to see some of the different leagues and now kids are playing at a little bit earlier age. We have a kid on the Seahawks team, Aaron Donkers, who's from Germany as well, and he has potential to get some playing time possibly this year as well. And he would be the first person in a while, I believe, that has done that. So he's showing that Germans are athletic and can do some things, right? So I do see the more international folks being involved in being able to play some football at a high level as well.
You already mentioned Pete Carroll before. He's the one element that always stayed the same at the Seahawks. Can you tell us a little bit about your special relationship with him? How do you see him as a person and how he impacted you also?
Well, again, like I mentioned with Coach Carroll, I think the style of leadership, the NFL is a very militant type of mindset, at least when I was playing, where coaches wanted you to be a certain way. They wanted you to dress a certain way. They wanted you to, just certain ways of doing things. And Coach Carroll was completely opposite. He had music playing in the meeting rooms. We shot basketball hoops. We were shooting before meetings. It's just a good time. It's fun, energetic, a lot of energy all the time. But he allowed everyone to be themselves. Like I said, we had a wide range of guys. You have Marshawn Lynch, you have Michael Bennett, Richard Sherman. All these guys have different personalities, and he allowed those guys to be themselves. And those guys would perform at an even higher level because of that. So it showed that you can have a different type of coaching style and still have success in the NFL or in football in general.
Yeah, I think that was also like a big thing for him when he was at USC. Why it actually worked over there, like really, really cool. So just like a final question, outside of the Super Bowl, what was your like most memorable moment for the Seahawks?
Wow, outside of the Super Bowl, that's tough. Obviously going to 2 Super Bowls back to back was huge. Obviously we lost the second one. But I would say independently, just from my perspective, not even a team perspective, I think being able to make it to the Pro Bowl as a Seahawk was pretty cool too, because at that time, I think we had 9 Pro Bowlers on the team, which is unreal to think about, but to be one of those 9, to be one of the top players and being respected by my peers, and also getting some of the media votes, I think was a pretty big highlight in my career with the Seahawks, just being able to do that with a bunch of great players on your team. It's hard to make the Pro Bowl, let alone make it with a bunch of players on your team. That's extremely hard to do. So being able to do that, I thought was really cool and unique.
That's amazing. You had a great career, and we hope to see you hopefully in Munich in November. Thank you so much for taking the time, and have a good night and good evening.
Thank you. No, I appreciate it. Thank you guys. Again, I think the media space in Germany is going to grow. I think football is going to grow in Germany as well. I look forward to seeing it. I hope to be there in November as well. And you guys have a good one. It's going to be a great time, though. It's going to be a great thing for the country, for the city of Munich, and the NFL.
Of course. Perfect. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.